Welcome to NXT Season 1, Episode 55. We have a very large show tonight. We have 4 pre-show matches. We have quite a few segments. We are square smack dab in the middle of finishing our run of Season 1. We have this event. We have one more NXT The Game show, which is the Go Home show, which is Episode 56. And then Legacy, our pay-per-view. But let's get straight into the action and try to bust this out in under 10 minutes. Alright. In an extremely short match, Jordan and Gable defeated Shoot Nation in 4.5 minutes when Gable defeated Sawyer Fulton with a German suplex. As always, I am just going to be blowing through these pre-show matches because they are just for momentum. But apparently we're in Alaska at the Anchorage Football Stadium, so it's probably cold. It might not be too bad. Alright, in an extremely short match, Eva Marie defeated Athena, Evie, and Portia Perez when Eva Marie defeated Athena via pinfall. We had the Mechanics defeating the Gentleman's Club in 5 minutes when Dawson defeated Joe Gallic via submission. And we had Apollo Crews losing to James Storm in 8 minutes with the Eye of the Storm. So that was a pretty big pre-show match, our biggest pre-show match ever. Let's get into NXT. The camera shows Kevin Owens arriving to the building earlier tonight. The camera then shows Triple H getting out of his limo, and shockingly, Scott Hall is behind him. We thought Scott Hall was out, but apparently he heals. Apparently he's good to go. So welcome to NXT. Tonight we have Kevin Owens in action to start the show in just a few moments, but boys, that's not all, because tonight in the main event we have Baron Corbin and Sin Cara taking on the team of Drew McIntyre and Tyler Breeze with Eva Marie. Tom Phillips. Let's not forget about the huge women's tag team match tonight either, where the opponents at Legacy face off on teams. I'm predicting another great night of action, Renee, says Corey Graves. Renee Young. Now let's get to ringside. Kevin Owens' theme is now hitting. Renee Young has a dreadfully stale character. A change is really needed. Let me just change Renee character. Alright, whatever. Maybe, maybe not. In an extremely short match, Kevin Owens defeated Simon Gotch in 4.5 minutes with a package pile driver. Aiden English did some good work at ringside. The hints at a Kevin Owens face turn didn't go well with the crowd, who still remember his recent turn. So I'm setting turns for a lot of people just in case I need to shake things up at the end of Season 1. I'm not really sure. Or to start Season 2. I'm not really sure who I'm turning, but I have about 10 or 15 people with turns set. After the match, Aiden English slid into check on Simon Gotch after After the match, Aiden English slides in to check on Simon Gotch after the loss, and beating Kevin Owens just gave him. Kevin Owens grabs onto English and throws him shoulder first at the ring post, sending him flying out of the ring. Owens now picks up Gotch and hits a non-pop-up powerbomb though on Gotch, who's still out cold. Owen looks to English, who's slowly getting up, and slides out of the ring to tackle him. Owens now picks him up and hits an apron powerbomb on English, who's now out cold as well. Kevin Owens has continued his violent string today and has totally turned on the smarky crowd the past few months against him, becoming the most hated man in professional wrestling. Kevin Owens definitely is the bad guy here. There is a worker who can be turned. Are you sure you wish to continue without turning? Yes, I do not want to turn him. The camera finds Mr. NXT in the back with his NXT Television Championship over his shoulder. Mr. NXT. The NXT Television Championship on the opening episode of Season 2 will be defended for the first time ever in a fatal 4-way per Commissioner Regal. This is Mr. NXT, who doesn't appear to be pleased. The fans cheer at the announcement. Zack Ryder didn't have to defend the championship against outside of a 1v1, but Mr. NXT is up for the challenge. He will be one of the 3 men. That is Zack Ryder. The fans cheer at the sound of Ryder's name, but that's a ways away. What's in my mind right now is the NXT Championship, and the first step is claiming my NXT Money in the Bank briefcase at Legacy. The fans cheer. Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre, Solomon Crowe, Tyler Breeze. He takes a deep breath, and Sin Cara. Mr. NXT pauses before continuing. I wouldn't even show up at Legacy. It's mine. Fade to black. Alright, the camera shows Apollo Crews and Adrian Neville walking out of the office of Commissioner Regal, going their separate ways. Alright, in an extremely short match, Finn Balor defeated Johnny Gargano in 45 seconds by pinfall with the coup de grace. So just a pretty much all-out match here for Finn Balor to get the victory for the Balor Club. A backstage clip now showing Asuka, Bayley, Candice LeRae, and Carmella are talking, preparing for their match tonight against Gail Kim, Emma, Dana Brooke, and The Boss. The camera shows Kevin Owens sitting in the back after his match before fading to what's left to the Clique's locker room. Well, I'm glad you feel good enough to be here, Scott. Just don't overdo it. The fans cheers Hall, standing with his trademark toothpick. Look, I can't wrestle much anymore, but damn it if I'm not going to stand by your side, Hunter. Hell, even Regal's on board with this one, huh? The fans cheer as Regal is shown walking into the room. I am on your side, says Regal. Hall extends his hand, in which Regal shakes. Storm, huh, Chico? Indeed, he says, flexing his vest. Who would have thought, huh? Us two old guys getting back into the ring again, maybe for one of the last times ever. Triple H gets serious. It's time to teach those kids some respect, Regal. Old school style. The scene fades with the three nodding. The old school guard, not really NXT, but in general, coming together to fight for the one thing that threatens their love of wrestling. In a match that had some good action and average heat, Tommaso Ciampa defeated Brian Kendrick and Hideo Itami in 7 minutes when Ciampa defeated Hideo Itami by pinfall with a Project Ciampa following interference from Dallas. So Ciampa, via interference, but Ciampa gets the victory over the #1 contender for the NXT Championship. So pretty huge. Brian Kendrick has switched his gimmick to Against the World in 91. Gargano was good at ringside after getting squashed by Finn Balor, who's probably a little loopy, but a huge win for Tommaso Ciampa here. After the match, Bo Dallas picks up his NXT Championship that he had hit Hideo Itami over the head with, costing him the match, and sneaks back up the ramp smiling, while Tommaso Ciampa is celebrating his biggest win ever with his partner, Johnny Gargano. Bo looks to the crowd, who serenades him with boos, which then causes the camera to focus on the Tabi, who looks pretty pissed off. Johnny Gargano helped Tommaso Ciampa in this segment. Well, that's great. The camera pops up with Solomon Crow of the Revolution standing, looking pretty uniquely upset and disturbed. We haven't heard tons from Mr. Crow since joining the Revolution, which makes sense given the gift of gab. Jabe speaks the truth he spews, says Crow before continuing. But tonight, in a moment of clarity, I must profess that despite the fact that James will go on to defeat Regal, and then whoever left to become the NXT champion again, that me winning the NXT Money in the Bank briefcase will only solidify the strength within the NXT's Revolution. He stops and laughs. Before, it's televised after all. Crow smiles with a gap-toothed grin as we fade out. So basically, this week and next week we're going to get lots of Money in the Bank hype. The crowd erupts now as Triple H and Scott Hall turn their heads backstage to see Kevin Nash, who's laid out by Kevin Owens in a back... The crowd erupts as Triple H and Scott Hall turn their head... Oh, sorry for swearing. The crowd erupts as Triple H and Scott Hall turn their heads backstage to see Kevin Nash, who was just laid out by Kevin Owens a bit back ago, walk into the photo and appears to be fine. Scott Hall, I told you, surprise for you, H. Kevin Nash hugs his friends and hands a paper showing he's cleared to wrestle. Kev, says Triple H, I didn't bring you into NXT to wrestle. I brought you in to be an agent. What makes you think I'm putting you back into the ring? I didn't want to do it the first time. The fans cheers. Kevin Nash has a big smile. Because I want to wrestle. I don't want to wrestle. Put me in a no disqualification match against Owens next week. Let me beat his ass for you just a few days prior to Legacy. Let me teach that kid some damn respect. The fans cheers. Triple H shrugs. Screw it. You're a grown-ass man. No one needs it. Next week, the go-home show. You and Owens this time. The main event this time. No disqualification. The fans erupt. Looks like the clique is coming back together before Legacy. Alright. In a match that has some good action and average heat, Asuka, Bayley, Candice, and Carmella defeated Dana, Emma, Gail, and Sasha when Asuka defeated Emma via pinfall with the Billiken. So, we got a pretty good women's tag team match. Man, my women's matches consistently get better ratings than my men's for a lot of the time. And they're not more over. I mean, Bayley's really over, Asuka's pretty over, not like great over. Candice LeRae actually been the big surprise. She's been great this season, gaining popularity. She was working for Shimmer half the time, so that was helping as well. But I mean, all my women have been great. Renee Young now at the TV desk, and from the desk of William Regal, our commissioner, the 10th and final match for NXT TakeOver Legacy, our WrestleMania bigger card, will feature an Apollo Crews taking on Adrian Neville match. The graphic is shown of Neville and Crews. Just a good wrestling match to start the show. So that's, just adding. I want to get Crews on the show. Definitely want to get Neville on the show. That's just the way to do it. Book them in a match. Not a lot of build around that. Not a lot of hype around that match. But I got 9 matches that have been built pretty damn strong. Yes. And now a video hyping showing the Bo Dallas and Hideo Itami feud and their match for the NXT Championship at Legacy. And next, in a match that has some good action and average heat, Drew McIntyre and Tyler Breeze defeated Baron Corbin and Sin Cara when Tyler Breeze defeated Sin Cara by pinfall with the beautiful disaster after distraction for Eva Marie. During the match, we also had Eva Marie distract Baron Corbin. Eva Marie did a great job at ringside. Eva Marie and Tyler Breeze have great chemistry. The Money in the Bank contendership storyline has continued. Only a 48 rating. The women match got stronger rating, which is ridiculous because these are 4 good workers. Not great, but good workers. All right. What? No way. I love Tyler Breeze. NXT ends this week with yet another shot. This week, Kevin Owens versus Triple H. Kevin Owens in the back looking at his cell phone. He swipes the screen and we can see a text message from a contact entered as unknown sender that reads, "I'll be there." Owens very slightly smirks as the show ends. And also, everyone, for the first time ever, we have a post-show match. Not sure how they work, but we're going to run one and see what happens. And about that featured great action in Average Heat. Neville, Zayn, and Samoa Joe defeated the Balor Club, Doc Gallows, Matt Jackson, and Nick Jackson in 12 minutes when Sami Zayn defeated Nick Jackson by pinfall with a running boot. During the match, we also saw Enzo Amore run in and attack Nick Jackson, and Colin Cassidy attack Matt Jackson. So basically, the last chance championships for the tag team title storyline advanced. And this was just, Neville, Sami Zayn, Samoa Joe getting a win over the Balor Club, and basically to send the fans home happy. The faces helping their friends win. Balor Club taking the loss. Not a big deal. This was just a little fun extra match. Just to get some other guys on the card. Next week is going to be a crazy packed show too, guys, because I want to get as many people as I can onto the card for Legacy. See what happened. What do we get? All right, lost popularity in 11 regions. Well, guess where we're not going again? Anchorage. Oh well. The next two shows are going to be from the Southeast. We're going to stay close to home, try to boost those ratings up. My ratings have been between 0.16 and 0.17 on Spike TV since we got that television show deal a couple weeks ago. So that's good news. Like a month, 3 months ago now. But anyways, that was NXT Season 1, Episode 55. We have the Go Home show coming up, and then NXT TakeOver Legacy. Then a whole bunch of new storylines. Everything will be moving in directions from everybody will be moving on. We're not going to pretend, hey, Zayn, you got a problem with Balor? You're never going to see each other again? No, that won't happen. No cross paths. But we're going to move on from all current storylines. I have lots of new ideas. So anyways, this was Season 1, Episode 55 of NXT The Game. Thanks for watching, and I will be back tomorrow.